Okay, next question. This is titled "Moving to London for Uni
Ooh.
and then help." So
Don't come.
Yeah, I'm wondering if anyone has any advice. I am moving with my boyfriend, so we're hoping to find a studio or even just a room to rent. I don't work and will be making use of my maintenance loan, but my boyfriend doesn't want to go to uni and will be working full time. For now, we are thinking of moving to a place or around that place. It doesn't have a great reputation, but it isn't the worst. How much money should we have saved up before we move, including deposit and everything? We think the most we'd pay for in rent is £800 with all bills included. I'm not sure how much advice anyone is able to give, but even small bits of advice will be helpful. So, person's trying to move into London. She's in uni using the maintenance loan. The boyfriend isn't going to go uni, but is working full time. They have an area that they want to move into, and they think it's going to cost around £800 with bills included. But she's asking, how much should we have saved up?
The first point of how much to have saved up, I'd say you want at least a couple bags, like at least a couple thousand, like two, 2, 3 if you can. Again, it is moving costs, that first deposit, possibly buying bits of furniture. If the place is furnished, that's a bonus. Paying those first set of bills, but if bills are included, then a lot of landlords ask for a month's rent in advance, sometimes on top of any deposit as well. You and especially if you're moving into London, that's an added cost. If you're already within the city and you're just moving to another part of it, that reduces costs. But if you're moving into a new city, so she's coming into London, that's going to come at a cost as well. So I'm going to say, if you can get 2,000 in savings before you do all of that, that would be a good start. Anything is good, but you definitely want something, a couple hundred's not really going to do much. Exactly. 1,000, okay, you can start to seriously consider things. 2,000, you put yourself in a good position to really consider doing something like that.
Yeah, I think the main topic of this question I want to dwell in is moving out young, because I know I moved out, I just finished uni, so around 21. Before then, just lived with my parents, but when I moved out, funny enough, the rent was around £800, and so I'd seen the place on Rightmove. It was a flat. It was like a big house that they converted into smaller flats. So the pictures looked alright. Went in. It was okay. It was good enough for a bachelor. Probably not a family, but good enough for me. My parents went in, weren't rated it at all. But at that point, I said I want to move out. So what can you do?
Sounds like you were pretty defiant as a kid.
Yeah, I was a rebel. So £800 is what I thought I only had to pay.
Right.
And that's why I like this question, because I had my £800. I said, how much is the deposit? I think it was a month and a half. So
see that?
Was that 1,200? So I had the 1,200 saved up. Then I had the £800 there. It was unfurnished.
See that?
But I didn't really deep what that meant. I mean, I saw nothing was there. But the fact that now I can remember the first night I'm there, because I get in around 6 o'clock, get the keys, I'm in, and there's nothing.
Nothing.
No bed.
No white goods, like no fridge, nothing.
A fridge was there.
Okay.
A washing machine was there.
Okay. So you had a couple white goods.
Yeah, but that was it.
Wow.
No microwave, no. Yeah.
Eesh.
And I think electric stove.
Right, yeah.
But that was it. Everything else, table, chairs, bed, wardrobe, all of it. But I'm not deep in all of those things until I'm there. I'm like, where am I going to put my clothes?
Yeah.
Where am I going to sit down? Where am I going to eat? Like, and now I'm paying for stuff that I didn't know I needed to have, so I didn't have it saved.
Right.
And so now it's a panic. Then council tax comes on. I'm like, what the heck is council tax? I thought that was the rent. Like, nah, there's now another thing you need to... That threw me off.
Yeah.
And so then that's the thing. And then another thing is, and this is why getting a job that earns enough money is good, it is needed.
Yeah.
And it's the same with buying a new car.
Yeah.
Yes, you have the money to buy it, but do you have the ongoing money to maintain it?
Right.
And that's what I didn't have with this place. So £800, oh yeah, fine. I had that in savings, but my job stretched me in terms of, can I keep paying £800 along with the bills and all that other stuff that comes into it.
Yeah.
And then I had a car and all that other costs. And so everyone sees the number on Rightmove and think, do I have that? Okay, cool. Then I'm ready to move out. But there's a whole load of maintenance involved as well.
100%. Yeah, so it's doing your research, man. Speak to people who have moved out. If you can chat to someone, if she could talk to someone who has moved to London from her area or anywhere else in the country, if they moved to London, chat to them, pick their brain, see what they had to do, see what they've gone through, some of the lessons they had to learn. Again, I think for me, one theme I'm realizing throughout all these questions is know your stuff, man. Like, speak to people, read up things online. Do you know what I'm saying? But in this case, you definitely want some money behind you. Because, you're right. Moving out for the first time. What does unfurnished mean?
Yeah, for real.
I'd never heard that word before until I moved out. Or started looking at moving out. So, I think another thing I would say as well is it depends on what area you're moving to. Try and know a little bit about the area. Again, it's silly things, amenities, what shops are there, what things can you do for leisure and socializing, because that's important. And it might be something simple, going to the park, going to the library, whatever you choose to do. Just see if what you need is within reach. Transport links, especially if you're not driving. If you are driving, what are the parking restrictions like? What, do you have to pay for a permit? How much does that cost? Stuff like that. And also, where you're going to live, how close is that to your uni? How close is it? What's your journey going to be like? You've got to factor all of these things in.
Because they do add up. Like you might just say, but all I need to do is take that train here and then that train there. That's fine, but for a whole year?
That's it. It's all money, man.
It's going to add up.
It's all money. And it's time as well, because if you're studying, you're going to be travelling a lot, potentially. And that's tiring. Sat on a train. And, to anyone who is considering moving into London, I don't know what the rest of the country's like with stuff like this. I imagine some of the other bigger cities are similar. Rush hour is a killer. I'm sorry. Rush hour is a killer. If you get in the tube, expect to stand, in a packed carriage with no seat for possibly most of your journey. If you're driving, expect to be sat in, traffic, on A roads and on motorways. If you're getting the bus, again, you're sat in traffic on A roads. Lots of roadworks. And don't get me wrong, like, I personally believe, and this is just from having lived in France a bit and travelled obviously to different countries, the London transport network, it's good. It's very good. Okay. Like, the quality of our roads.
Is it?
Yeah. It's good.
The roads?
Yeah. Okay. I'm telling you, I'm not like, I'm not sort of nationalistic in that. So is that the word? No, when you're like a... Patriotic, yeah, that's the word. Sorry if I used the wrong word. I'm not patriotic. I'm not overly patriotic. But I remember living in France. And the French, the French infrastructure is brilliant. But I was very proud of, TFL. I'm not gonna lie. I'd be like, yeah, you know what, Lyon, France, like your team's good, but TFL, you know what I mean, like props. It's a good transport network. It's good when you put it in the global context. Yes, we moan, they mash up the roads, they're pulling up pipes and all kinds, but it's a good network for what it is. Even down to our street, like our road signs, they're clear. You can follow them even without a sat nav. Do you know what I'm saying? So, but that being said, again, if you are coming into London and you're going to be, especially if you're anywhere near central London, expect a lot. Traveling is going to take up a lot of your time, and you have to factor that into where you live. If you can be within walking, riding, or even a short bus journey's distance, opt for that, because when you're studying, you want to save time and you want to save money, so you can focus on your studies. So definitely factor that in. That £800 with bills, I mean, I'm renting at the moment. I don't know where she's planning to live, but that's like, to my knowledge, To my knowledge, that's becoming less and less the case. Especially if you want a decent place. That £800 with bills included, that is becoming less and less the case. You might end up in a box room or a studio for that price now.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? And that's, again, you're studying, you want a good workspace, you want to be able to cook your food in the evenings. You want somewhere you could hopefully invite a friend to that you're not embarrassed about. If she could possibly spend a little bit more and get a better quality place, she may want to consider her options. Because the thing is, like, I guess where I'm going with that point is, where you live is important, because that's your space. You know what I mean? When you come home at the end of a long day, whether studying, working, or whatever, you want to know that you can relax, you're comfortable, things work, you don't have fuss with neighbours or your landlord. And the lower down the price scale you go, the more the possibility of these problems being a factor increases. Do you know what I mean? So if you're paying less, you're possibly going to have some dodgy neighbours, a dodgy landlord, things not working in the flat, possibly some kind of, you got to think about things. You have, because if you're going to be living there for any significant period of time as well, you want to be comfortable. Like, and that does mean paying a bit more sometimes. But then if you're there for even 6 months, a year, 2 years, that's your space. It becomes your home. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's important to factor that in as well, I'd say. Yeah,
and the ultimate question you want to ask is it worth moving out if I don't get that? Because I think sometimes that's not a question that's asked. And I know in this situation, you're moving in with a boyfriend, and so there's 2 incomes potentially there. Well, maintenance loan, I don't know if you can class that as, I guess it is an income, yeah. Is it worth moving in together? Because if you don't get that, if you don't get the space where you can do this, that, you don't have a place where it's not close to this, there, is it really worth it to get into debt, to struggle, just to say I'm out of a house, just so we can be together, where maybe you could probably both rough it out for another year, maybe a year and a half, 2, get more capital, to end up actually going to the place that you actually want to go to. But then on the flip side, and this is why I moved out, and why I was willing to struggle financially, is that there's a price tag for peace.
Yes.
And so and this was another question I saw, which we'll do in another episode, if moving out is a way to move out of a situation that's toxic, then it might be worth it in a different way.
100%. Because no, I agree. And there are some things money can't buy, and there are some things money can buy, given the context. Do you know what I'm saying? Peace of mind is a big one. Yeah, and if you're going to pay a little peas just to know that, I get some peace of mind, or I don't have to deal with this passa, this drama, these arguments, then it might be worth it. It might be worth taking that plunge. But me personally, let's say the home context is good. It's not toxic. Turn out your yard, man. Stay home. Stay home. Trust me. Turn out your yard. Yeah. Sit down. Stack your money. Come up with a plan for how you're going to move out comfortably and successfully, and steadily over the next few years. There's no rush, because I think things are changing now. Back in the day, look, like our parents bought houses. We're buying flats. Our kids, I don't know what our kids are going to buy. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Our parents bought houses. We're talking 3, 4, sometimes 5 bedroom houses. We're buying flats, 1 and 2 bedroom flats. I don't know what our kids are going to buy. Probably not studios. It's going to skip studio.
Yeah, good.
It's just a box room. You're going to buy a room in a house. I don't know. So if I agree. Like if you can stay home, especially if you're studying, stay home, study, do your studies, stack whatever little paper you can,
And the other thing is, as you're saying that, I just realised the fact that you said you're studying again. And this is why I didn't want to say maintenance loan as income, because it's not really.
It's not really an income.
Because you got to remember, if you do make the move, it's hard to reverse. Or hard, awkward, whatever. If you go into something that the maintenance loan is this level, and maintenance loan is dependent on your background. So let's say you come from a hard background, you get more money maintenance-wise. And then you finish uni, and you get a job, and that job will not pay that maintenance loan.
Yeah.
You've now put yourself in a awkward situation, especially if you're just counting on that money to pay that £800.
Absolutely.
And so now you're in a situation where now I might have to by force go back, and what if the option's not there anymore? And so you do want to be thinking longer than just a year.
Yeah.
You want to be thinking, all right, after uni, what's the situation really going to be looking like?
Yeah. And I think because even for me, so again, I went to uni as a mature student, so I did my access course when I was 26. I started uni when I was 27. The family lived in West London at the time. We I'm Acton born and raised. Shout out Acton, shout out QPR. But when I started my degree, I was 2010. By December 2010, my parents had moved to Chingford. They downsized, they sold their house. Again, my dad bought a house, fam. Do you know what I mean? So him and my mum were able to downsize, get some equity back in their pocket, you know what I mean, and do other things with the money. So I wanted to stay in West London. And big part of it was, it's my time as a young man to move out and, spread my wings a little bit at a cost. But I kind of wanted the status that comes with it. I don't live with my parents, blah, 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 blah. And I did it for about a year. And I remember I was renting a room in Harlesden, and, dingy little place. My neighbours were fine, some really nice neighbours, but it was a dingy little room. It was a box room, I think it's the smallest room in the house. It was an old house, so again, mould and things didn't always work. But again, I lived in my own room, I was renting my own place. But I remember doing that for about a year. And I could afford it with the maintenance loan and stuff like that. It was affordable enough. And I was still working part-time while studying full-time. But I remember just being sat in my room one day, and I said, I'm going home. I'm going to go home. I'm going to follow my parents down to East London, because they had already moved in and settled in by then. I said, I'm just going to move back home, save this money, and put it to better use. And it was humbling, but I'm so glad I did it. You know, and personally, I wish I could have done it for longer. Do you know what I mean? You know, my situation was a bit different. My dad got ill and different things, and you know, I eventually got married and we wanted our own place. But yeah, if you can stay home, just stay home, man. Like, there's no, honestly, just stay home.
Yeah.
Stay home.
You're
Obviously,
right,
but she's coming to London to study, so maybe what she wants to study is linked to the university she's going to. I don't know, but you know, to that young lady and anyone in a similar situation, if you can do your degree or whatever your course of study is in your city, just do it there. Do it because it's going to be worth the same. Do you know what I mean? Yes, okay, you get, on the flip side, the pros of kind of moving out, and especially if you're going to somewhere you really desire. You know, I know London's very desirable for people from other parts of the country. That comes with benefits as well. The lived experience, meeting new people, new opportunities, broadening your horizons, your perspective. It comes with a lot of benefits, but you can still profit from these benefits later in life with a bit more money in your back pocket. If you can stay at home, ride it out, do your degree, do your studies, graduate, get a job, you know, get married, then you'll be able to profit from, do you know what, yeah, I want to move to London, or I want to try and live elsewhere. You can still profit from that side of it, the lived experience, the meeting new people, the new opportunities. You don't feel you have to dive in at the deep end during your studies just because it's kind of the done thing, or yeah, if it's any kind of social or peer pressure, or oh yeah, you know, my friend, she moved here and my friend, he moved there. Like, don't feel you have to do it for those reasons. You know, don't let those reasons be too much of a factor.
All right, well, we might as well not lie. This is an outro. You are at the end.
Yeah.
And we want you to do what every YouTuber says. Like, comment, subscribe.
Share.
Share's
a big one, personally.
It is. We're trying to grow something. This is this common room thing is basically we're trying to help common people get access to elite information.
For free.
For free?
At this stage.
For now.
For free for now, yeah. I like that.
But we're really trying to help. We both have a burden. Russell, all three of us have a burden just to see normal people get access to things that only money would really get. Big money would only really get you.
Absolutely.
So if you like what you're hearing, please share. Help this.
Yeah.
Help this out big time. Or if you've got a question, a thought, a comment, feel free to DM us, email us.
Yeah, get in touch.
If you're brave enough to do it with your name on it, comment down below. If not, then we got an email, tcrpod@outlook.com, or Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Our handle is tcrukpod.
I'm also going to throw in as well, send in a voice note. Like, if you want to send a question or, again, a comment or anything of that nature, then send in a voice note, you know, like you would. Record it and send it to us, and we will actually feature your voice note on the pod as well, and then respond. Do you know what I'm saying? So it would be great to hear from you guys a bit more live and direct as well.
Cool. All right, we'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, see you then.